Hello, YouTube. Welcome back to a chapter with Shelby. It's been a minute for sure, and very good reason for that. I found out pretty much right after my last video that I am pregnant. Best life, best life, best life. I'ma keep going. Yeah. So, very good reason as to why I have not posted any videos. I honestly did not think I would even come back to booktube. I just thought it was so funny that I basically started the channel in like our waiting season. I don't know why I did this because it absolutely was a waiting season, but like during our waiting season, I just was like, you pick up different hobbies and you fill the time with things that are meaningful and things that fulfill you. And in those like few weeks that I was on booktube and posted 5 videos, I definitely I loved it. I knew I probably would come back to it, but once we actually found out that we were pregnant, I was just, first of all, so sick because of the first trimester, real rough for me. And then now that I'm in my second trimester, I feel better. I'm like kind of getting back into what I was doing before. Like I have the energy, I have the like excitement to do things again. And so once I saw my old videos, like I was on YouTube and I saw some of the old videos I had made, I was like, I love doing that. Like I loved making the thumbnails and I really loved just making the content and just making the channel like what I wanted it to be. And so this is my first video back. This is just a life update plus a small reading update because I didn't do a ton of reading during my first trimester at all. I had started a couple parenting books and haven't gotten through either of those. I think I got halfway through one of them. I probably won't be sharing those specifically, but now that it's fall, I just started kind of getting into my fall TBR, even though October is almost over, which is so annoying. But I still consider, I love October, but I still consider November to be like full fledged. We're in fall. I love Christmas and I don't mind like the Christmas vibes, but I'm like, I don't want fall to go away. Summer lasted way too long. Summer ate into my October. So I started my fall reads and I finished one book yesterday and then I'm almost done with an audiobook I'm reading and then I'm like starting the second book or the third book now of a series, and I'll explain what those are because I'm very excited to share those. Also, my setup is so different than my other videos. I got a new gaming computer, which happens to be right in front of the backdrop I was using before. And so this is just like our cozy corner, like right across from my desk where my husband usually sits. I'm literally sitting in front of his PlayStation. I don't like this vibe that much. I have, he has like his half of the room, I have my half of the room, and then the sun is in the way. And so this is probably not going to be my permanent setup unless I figure out something with the window and get a more aesthetic backdrop. Um, so definitely short term. So let's pick up where I left off, which my last video was a read it or yeet it, which was so fun and helped me clear out a lot of the books I just was not going to read. I'm honestly really surprised I didn't chuck or yeet the sequels to the books like that I'm reading now, because I never thought I was going to get to them. But I'm so glad I didn't because I am absolutely obsessed with the series I'm reading right now. And then right before that, I was talking about like summer ween and like summer reading and things like that, which I didn't honestly get to at all because we found out we were pregnant in July. I'm 4 months now, almost 5 months. And so I really didn't get into my summer reading that much at all, which is the excitement and all the first trimester woes and things like that. And I do remember that the last video, the read it or yeet it, was right before summer camp. And I've basically found out 2 weeks after summer camp that I was pregnant. And so I remember looking back at that video and being like, was I pregnant in that video? But I was not. I think that my summer reading basically ended with the Haven Ever After series. I I was reading the third book on my Kindle. Haven't finished it. I'm like, it's such a short book and I'm really close to finishing it, but I just haven't been interested. I'm kind of surprised I didn't read my Kindle as much during my first trimester, but I honestly feel like I was just asleep the whole time because I was exhausted. And so I'm sure I will like zip through that, especially traveling during the holidays. Like I usually read in the car. So I'll probably just try to like knock that out during like Thanksgiving or Christmas, just like as a last like just get this into my Goodreads challenge. But I definitely didn't want to go through the fall time without reading some cozy fantasies and maybe some romances. I do have a couple on my bookshelf that I did specifically buy, I'm pretty sure last fall, and I never got to. So I'll probably try to zip through those. I just am so like reinvigorated with reading. Um, I think just because the book I'm reading now, like, is just so good. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I forgot why I love this so much. And so that's really awesome that I'm able to come back into reading after a few months break, basically, from reading fiction and just like falling in love with a new world, new characters, and things like that. And then just get re-impassioned for reading in general. So let's just get into what I decided to start reading. When I came back basically from my little reading hiatus slash early pregnancy bubble. So essentially, when I felt the urge to pick up a book again, I was not sure what kind of book, like what I wanted to read. I didn't know if I wanted to read romance. I didn't know if I wanted to continue a fantasy series that I've been reading. I honestly wasn't even sure what was on my TBR or on my bookshelf. And I also have a lot of thrillers, which are perfect for the fall time as well. And then my other thing was like, I wasn't sure how much time I was going to be willing to dedicate to reading. And so that kind of narrowed down what I wanted to read, I thought at first. And then I ended up picking up a fantasy book. So in 2023, I literally said last year that I read the first book and I didn't. Um, and so it had been much longer than I thought. And I'm definitely one of those people, like, once I read a book, I'm just like, I have no idea what I just read. Loved it while I was reading it, but then kind of everything just leaves my brain after. In 2023, I read This Woven Kingdom. And I don't remember like loving it that much, which is strange because I started the second book 4 days ago, finished it yesterday, and choke hold. Like I'm not sure why I didn't just jump into the second book after the first book. And then the second book picks up right where the first one leaves off, like literally right there. And I just don't remember anything. I like don't remember characters. I remember the main character, but I don't remember like she's in a love triangle and I don't remember either of them. I don't It's just weird. And again, it wasn't too long ago. It was only 2 years ago that I read the first book. And so I went back in my Goodreads and I did leave a review. And I didn't leave like a bad review. I think I gave it 4 stars. And I was like, yeah, like, can't wait for the second. It was super good. Love the main character. And I was just like, um, I still gave the second book 4 stars, but like 4.5, like kind of leaning toward 5. And then I just started the third book, which is already so fantastic. And so I was just really surprised that I didn't jump right into the rest of the series, but now I am in it to win it for sure. I finished the second book yesterday and then started the third book, read till midnight, and I told myself I wasn't going to order the fourth book until I got halfway through the third book, which I did as soon as I started reading it. I read for like 3 hours, got almost halfway through, and so I ordered the fourth because I'll probably be done today or tomorrow. Hopefully, my book comes on Wednesday. So I also, in my Goodreads challenge for 2025, I am now 26 books out of 30. I usually set my reading goal to 30 because that is pretty much what I managed to read naturally, just like without trying. I have hit 50 before, but like that just seems so, I just have to like really strive to hit 50. Um, and the only reason I even got to 50 like 2 years ago, definitely not last year, 2 years ago was because I was at like 45 And I found out that my cousin hit 50, and I was like, okay, well, now I have to hit 50 as well. And again, that just is like a lot of effort. Sometimes I do read more than 30, but 30 seems to be my baseline. But with taking several months off, I was already ahead of my reading schedule by like 5 books by the time we found out that we were pregnant. And so I really didn't have to like catch up. It's not like I read like 1 book a month. Like I usually read a lot during the beginning of the year and then take a break in the summer because I don't love summer, but like books with summer vibes that much. That's why I love summer reading, because I love reading the thrillers in the summer. But like I said, after we found out that we were pregnant, I took a break. I just felt like I was asleep for 2 or 3 months the whole time, and I was just too sick to even like to eat, to really do anything, to work out. And so it definitely just wasn't like, reading just wasn't on my mind. I wish I had downloaded, or honestly just like known about Audible at the time, because Audible has a deal going on right now that for 3 months the subscription is 99 cents, and I jumped on that like so quick. And so I've been listening to, okay, well, the um, third book that I've been reading for the fall is called Spark of the Everflame. I've heard about this book, and I knew it was fantasy. I wasn't sure if it was romantasy or not, because that's what I like the most. And I read some of the reviews on Audible, and a lot of the time, if there's a book that is very heavy fantasy and a lot of world building, reading through that is really hard for me. Like, just hard to remember things and pay attention. And so um, I was like, let me pick something that is a little bit more dense for me, like something I want to read, but that I probably won't read the physical book. And so I downloaded Spark of the Everflame with my 1 credit a month for Audible, and love it. I usually use the Books app on my phone, but Audible is a little different in like a good way. And so I'm excited to like continue using Audible. And so Spark of the Everflame, it's really good. It's very slow. The first book is slow. I read some reviews, and a lot of people said the first book is just world building. Like, there's a lot going on with like nothing going on at the same time. And it is a romantasy, but you just get enough of it to keep you wanting more, probably for like the future books. Like, there's definitely some things going on, but the author just keeps those like little moments, those basically the slow burn moments, just out of reach. Like, you get enough to want more, to get a little taste of what could happen. And honestly, this Woven Kingdom is very slow burn. It's enemies to lovers, kind of the enemies to lovers again. Um, and it's, again, it's a slow burn, but it's so good. It's, if you've read um the Once Upon a Broken Heart trilogy, it's very similar. Like, you get lots of romance, and it's a little spicy without being spice. And I honestly respect authors that can do that, because like there's no like sex scenes, there's nothing like super spicy going on, but it's spicy at the same time. It's like subtle, but I don't know how to explain it. I'll have to like write down the way that I feel about those kind of books and then like explain it later. But I'm sure you've read books that are like that, where it's not like the characters don't have to like full on have sex for it to be like spicy and for your like heart to pound. So the third book, yeah, the third book I'm reading this month. Hi, Bean. The third book I'm reading this month is the third book in this Woven Kingdom series, which is All This Twisted Glory. Already love it. I love that the author jumps right. I love that the author jumps right into the story. Um, like I said, after the first book, the second book picks up right where it left off. And then in the third book, picks up right where it left off in the second, which is really awesome. Like, no messing around. We're just right back in the story. And especially because she leaves things on such a cliffhanger most of the time. I just want to know what's going on. Like I would just want to continue on with the characters and just know what happened because the cliffhangers are insane. I don't know what it would take for me to rate any of the This Woven Kingdom books a 5 star because Once Upon a Broken Heart, I definitely had a 5 star read, and they have very, very similar vibes, which I Once Upon a Broken Heart trilogy was like my favorite read. I think I read it this year, maybe last year, I don't remember. Absolutely my favorite trilogy that I've read. But I haven't rated any of the This Woven Kingdom books 5 stars yet, and I'm not sure what it's going to take for me to do that. Maybe it'll be the third book, maybe it'll be the fourth. I'm not sure. So aside from those 3 books that I'm reading in the month of October, I am not sure what is on my TBR for November except for the 4th book of This Woven Kingdom. I um I have a couple books in mind that will be light reads, like something I can breeze through within a couple days. And that's like something about the Pumpkin Spice Cafe. There's like several books, and the covers are really pretty. I do have one of those books, and I'll probably read that. I would like to read one of my thriller mystery books that's been on my shelf for a while. I'm not sure which one because like they all have kind of different vibes. So I'm not sure if I will read something on my physical shelf or if I'll listen to something on Audible. But I don't have like specific books picked out for October or for November. But I know the vibe. I'm definitely a vibe slash mood reader. And so if I need to ask ChatGPT to help me figure out like what books fit my specific mood for November, I will. But I do know that I will finish all 4 of the This Woven Kingdom books. And I'm pretty sure the 4th isn't even the last. So, and it just came out in September. So I already know I'm going to have to wait for the 5th book. I don't even know if that's going to be the last book of the series. So we'll see. Like I said, picking up where I left off in the channel, I'm just going to continue the content I had intended before, which is my reading updates, mini reading vlogs, what I read for that month, maybe a like favorite books of the year at the end of the year, because I did start this booktube channel in the middle of the year, and so I didn't talk much about what I read in the first half. And so I might do like a reading wrap up for that. And yeah, I'm also very slightly considering sharing our pregnancy story because um like I don't have a lot of followers, which is fine. So it would kind of be for me. Um and anyone who is curious about our process and our journey, because we did get pregnant through IUI. And the journey was long. It was beautiful at the same time, difficult, disappointing, um, all the things, like all the good things, all the difficult things, all meshed into one. And so I don't know if that's going to be a vlog, not a vlog, but like just something I do in the future. If you do watch my channel and you watch this video, you made it to the end, let me know like if you'd be interested in that. Again, it could just be for myself, just to like have and just to talk about. So that is something I'm considering. I also need to figure out a new setup, or I need to get curtains for this window because there's no curtains on the window, and that would help me with this. I do like this empty space because this is where like the books go or the pictures go. So it's not bad. You know, I have like these pictures here from my husband. They're like comic book pictures. It's not a bad setup, but you know, my other one was like more aesthetic and it had like the vines and everything. So that pretty much wraps up my life update and my fall reading update video. I will be back to posting I don't remember if I post every Wednesday or Friday. I really don't remember. I'll figure that out, but I will be back to posting weekly as much as I'm able to. And yeah, I'm excited to get through the series, share my thoughts on it, and then what I'm reading in the like in the coming months, especially the fall/Christmas vibey books are going to be, they're just going to be good. I'm really excited to maybe get some new releases as well. I'm not sure what's even like. I think I looked through Goodreads like new releases for fall, but nothing's out for Christmas yet, and so I'm looking forward to just kind of like maybe reading more holiday themed books. I do enjoy those. Thank you for watching this video. If you watched it all the way through, please like and subscribe, and I will see you next week on A Chapter with Shelby.